am so excited about our guest this week. So this is one of my mentors. We've often talked about having mentors, and I am one of those people who believes in having people mentor you. And you've heard me say many times that I have a mentor in business. I have a mentor for my health. I have a mentor for in every area of my life, spiritual. And this has been my mentor in business when I wanted to figure out how to make a change, because I'm a nurse. But I wanted to be home with my daughter. And so when I wrote my New York Times bestseller, The Omni Diet, Lisa Sasevich was my mentor to help me get my messaging down so that I could work from home, be a mom, be a writer, and do really well with my speaking engagements. So welcome, Lisa Sasevich. I'm super excited. You've been so special in my life because you helped me not just be good at it, but be purposeful. And that's really important to us and our listeners, is being purposeful. So I wanted to have Lisa on so she could tell you why she does what she does, how she does it. And she's been really masterful at helping women find their purpose and help them really craft messaging and help them with, find what they're good at, really, is what you do. And so I want to really welcome you today. And I want Daniel to read your bio because I forgot my glasses. So, because you've just done so many really cool things in the world. I don't want to miss that. So,
well, I can't read it all because it's really long and awesome.
She's done a lot.
But after helping corporate giants like Pfizer and Hewlett-Packard generate millions in sales and small personal development companies grow quickly, Lisa Sasevich was fired from her dream job the night before Christmas Eve. With a husband in medical school and 2 toddlers at home, it was devastating. After some soul searching, the queen of sales conversion decided it was time to parlay her talents into her own profits and to help others do the same. She started a home-based business, and after a few short years and over $40 million in sales later, Lisa has helped over 15,000 clients in 134 countries earn more by doing what they love, all without being pushy or salesy. Lisa has a brand new book, Meant for More, coming out April 14th by our friends at Hay House. And we are just so grateful that you're going to spend time with our Brain Warrior community.
Welcome.
What is it about you two that every time I hear you speak, I get full body chills? You're so inspiring. You're reading my introduction and I'm inspired. It just oozes out of you. I know that's why all of us are here. And I'm so, so honored to have walked this path with you, for being able to contribute our work to your amazing missions. And I love the chance to talk about all the things we're going to be talking about this week, including mission and purpose and what you were alluding to, Tana, your unique value.
Yeah.
When you and I got a chance to dive into that. Anyway,
I'm still friends with most of the people that I worked with. What I love about mastermind groups is something magic happens when you're with a group of people who are really focused, and you're not just you're focused on each other, and something really magical happens. I'm still friends with all of those people. It's really cool. And what I loved is that they all did something very different. Everybody wasn't in the same thing. They weren't all in corporate.
Actually, isn't that where you met Wendy?
That's where I met Wendy.
Which is why we have a podcast.
Right. It's why we have a podcast.
Wow.
So it's like crazy how things happen. And so you meet these cool people, but many of them were women who stay home. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted it all. I wanted to be home. I wanted to be a wife. My favorite things were being a wife and a mother. And I'm like, how can I do that and still be successful? I wanted to be fulfilled, working as well. And so I just, I credit you in large with that. So thank you.
So let's start with why you wrote Meant for More. Who is it to, and what's your passion with it? And then over the next couple of podcasts, we'll unpack it.
Yeah, and I want to hear your story, like a little bit, because that's an awful story. You get fired on Christmas Eve.
Yes. There's a couple of stories here. To answer Daniel's question, why I wrote Meant for More, kind of what's inside me that had me birth this baby. And by the way, I just got the copy. Here
fun. Isn't that fun? It's like having a baby when that happens, right?
It is. It's like, it is. And it takes about the same amount of time, that 9-10 month window. So it is very similar.
Congratulations.
But part of my, thank you. And I'm so honored to have Hay House publishing the book, because so many of my early heroes, when I was in college at San Diego State up the street here, I remember finding a Marianne Williamson cassette tape and putting it in my yellow Sony Walkman cassette, the waterproof one, and marching up Torrey Pines and listening to her say, your deepest fear is not that you are inadequate, it's that you are powerful beyond belief. And I was just like, it was the first time I ever heard anybody talk like that. Yeah. So to be able to be joining the authors of Hay House, I feel super honored. And how this all came to be really is when I was 19 and headed off to college, we grew up in Los Angeles. My mom was diagnosed with lung cancer, and it came out of the blue. There was no warning. And literally from her diagnosis to her passing was 10 months. She was 48 years old, which I have now surpassed her by 3 years. It's a really, really interesting year when you outlive your parent. You know, there's a lot of growth work I did in that year. And what happened when I came home from college and I brought her home from the hospital, and I held her in my arms as she took her very last breath, I don't remember much after that. I remember holding her. I remember being very present. And then there's sort of a blur. And then the part that I do remember, like it was yesterday, was standing in our backyard as we had like a celebration of life ceremony in our modest little home in the San Fernando Valley. And all the people who loved her, that worked with her, and, you know, her friends, and she volunteered everywhere. So all the organizations she supported were there. And I heard this recirculating conversation. Every little group I went to, people were awkward with me. They didn't know what to say. The thing that I kept hearing is, and her name was Ina, people were saying, oh, Ina, she was so amazing. If only she would have. And then they'd say the things that they thought were possible for her. And, you know, she really could have, and gosh, she really should have. And that whole afternoon, all I could hear as people rejoiced in how awesome my mom was woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda. All the things that they thought were possible for her. That, you know, being a single mom and working, you know, 2 jobs, she just never got the chance to express. She did the best she could with her volunteering and from her cubicle at the big company she worked for, but she never really got the space or had the mentorship, Tana, this is the thing, to have somebody say, hey, all of your life experiences add up to something. Let's start taking a look. Let's discover what's driving you, what's under, you know, your life story, your formal education, your school of hard knocks, all the schools you've been to, right? And so she never really had a chance to play that out. And I think that on that day, I know I made a decision that I was not going to live a woulda, coulda, shoulda life.
Yep.
That I was going to go on that journey, that I was going to pay attention, that I would have mentorship, the same way that you mentioned. And I did all those things. And I have to tell you, looking now in my rearview mirror, you know, in my second half, I'm so grateful that I've gotten to, you know, live in my purpose, make a difference, and have been able to figure out and teach thousands of other people how they can do the same, how they can do what they love and what they were made for, be purposeful and fulfilled, and make great money doing it. And so that's what inspired me to write Meant for More, is that over the last 10 years that I've looked out into our audience's eyes, your eyes, my eyes, you know, in the mirror, it's what I see. It's that if we let it bubble up, we all have a feeling that won't go away. Mm-hmm. And the best way I can describe it is it's a knowing that we were meant for more. And that's really what it's about.
I love that. And purposeful people live longer. So I love that when you tap into, you get excited when you are a part of something special. You get excited and you feel passionate, and that feeling of excitement and passion when you're doing something that is special and great, you live longer. People that are purposeful live longer.
Well, and knowing your purpose is so important. And I think that's one of your gifts. Yes. It's really helping people know why they're here and then what they can do about it.
And where can they find, you have gifts, right?
I do. In fact, one of the things to help everyone here to start to look for the clues, which I promise you're going to be blown away at how many clues are already around you, is we created something. It's called the Discover Your Unique Value MiniCourse. This is the new cover of it. It's video and worksheets that you can download online and do anytime from anywhere. Mm-hmm. And it's my gift to everybody here today. You can go to meantformoregift.com, meantformoregift.com, and you just put your name and email, and you'll have immediate access to start in on this course and discover your unique value.
Okay, I'm going to give a little plug here, and I don't do this all the time. So your materials are so simple and so effective. I still have your book. So I still have the book from the event that I attended, and
which was like 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, 7 or 8 years ago. Yes. And it might be a different course. My point is the materials are done in such a simple way, but they're so effective that I literally just pulled them back out because I have a book coming out. And so I'm like, I need to go back and get my messaging down. And so my assistant and I pulled them out from years ago. I dug them out and I'm like, okay, time to go back. And they're just so simple. They're plug and play. And so I really like that. I don't like things that are not useful, but they're done in a way that's like, oh, that helped me hone that message really clearly. But at first it helps you find why, helps you find your why.
All right. Yeah, when we come back.
If you have people in your lives and you're listening, feel free to share it. I want everyone to discover their unique values. So
right.
You can share meantformoregift.com. Of course, refer them back to listen to this amazing podcast and all its episodes.
And they get gifts when they do that. So
purposeful.
Okay. Yeah. When we come back, we're going to talk about purpose plus meaning. How are we meant for more? Stay with us. Welcome back. We're here with author Lisa Sasevich, author, coach, mentor, actually Tana's mentor, which she has just been so helpful. Yeah. She teaches thousands of people, has a brand new book, Meant for More. You can actually download her brand new mini course at meantformoregift.com. Lisa, let's talk about practical ways people can really learn their purpose and what they're really meant for.
I appreciate that. And I want to say I love what you said about when we are purposeful, we live longer. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking that, from our prior episode, when I shared my mom passing away at 48, I think it's a great example because she was striving to find her purpose, but just never could find the space or had the mentorship or the inspiration to do that. So I've put together a series of things that everyone here can start to look at. They're already happening in your life, so it doesn't take any extra time. So even if you're busy, it'll just be a matter of starting to pay attention of what is your unique value. Sometimes we call it your $1 million value because we've literally had people be able to, create a side hustle out of discovering their unique value and help people, way more than they ever expected they could. So let me give you guys a few tips of where you can start looking in your life. This is one of my favorites. Ask yourself this question. Where is it that people always want to pick your brain? They've said to you so many times, hey, Tana, can we meet at Starbucks? I just want to pick your brain about how you stay in such good shape. right? Daniel, can we meet at, it's usually, meet for lunch. If I could just have 20 minutes to pick your brain about how you've helped so many people all over the world. Every single one of us has a place, whether it's how we've enjoyed such a successful marriage or the opposite end, how we're dating so successfully online, how we have such great communication with our teen. I just had a woman I worked with who helped her teen in high school get a special education program right through the school for his ADHD. It's called an IEP plan. Mm-hmm. She helped her own child, and then everyone wanted to pick her brain. So guess what? When we started to look, it turned out there was a unique value there. And she's now been helping parents all over the United States for over 20 years. Do you know how many kids she has helped get special education programs who needed that extra help from the public school? I've had to go through it myself with my own child. And without her guidance, I would be lost. So we all have that. So that's one of the tips, is where do people always want to pick your brain? And just start to notice it. Start to take notes. Start a little file in your phone called My Unique Value, and just start to pay attention. Now,
so
another tip, or did you want to say anything about that?
No, I just all of a sudden I went, oh, wait, wow, that's so interesting, because it isn't the thing that I was thinking that I've done for, that's interesting.
Well,
it may not be the thing that you pay attention to the most. We don't notice it always.
It is interesting because sometimes there is an additional thing being called for from you, and it's easy to miss it.
Yeah.
But others are seeing it. They're seeing how you have great communication with your teen, or how you've helped people in this area or that. For some people who already maybe have a business, this can be an amazing extension, of what they do that they didn't see. Yeah. For others who are really just wanting to feel more purposeful, this can be a way that you can make a contribution beyond anything you might have seen.
So just because you have a career in one thing doesn't mean you might be very purposeful in something else. Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes when you start to go down that road, you'll find that there's sort of an umbrella that ties them together, even though they seem really different.
Yeah.
Let me give you one more idea that, again, everybody can start to do right away. I love this one because you have to pay close attention. It's very counterintuitive. So this one is, it's a question. What is easy for you that baffles other people? You could say it's easy for you and it's hard for others. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of times we don't notice this because to us, it's so easy for us. We don't think anybody would get value because it's the easiest thing for us to do. I'm a really great example. I'm kind of different in that, I love making what I call my irresistible offer for my work. I love that when there's someone I can help, making them an offer that I could help them and giving them the chance to accept or decline. Now, most people, we call this sales.
It's terrifying.
Most people would run for the hills. It's one of the four, there's death, taxes, speaking, and sales. And, I'm just this odd person that believes that when we make our offer, it's one of the ways to be purposeful. So for why I have such a successful business, we've been honored by the Inc. 500 fastest growing privately held companies in the United States 2 years in a row, number 20 in women-owned businesses. For the ladies usually enjoy knowing that. And I'm a work-from-home mom, right? The same goal that Tana had. I've done it all from home to be with my kids. So when I started this business, I think one of the reasons that we did so well is that that's an example that was something that was easy for me, but eluded other people.
Yeah, by the way, those are the reasons I chose you.
Why is it so hard for people? And we were talking off the air. I've been criticized by my colleagues of being self-promotional. And, in my mind, if I don't tell you what I can do for you, well, one, you won't know. And then you'll get traditional psychiatric care, which I think is bad for many people. We're the only medical doctors who never look at the organ they treat. So if I don't say, look, we have a better way to do this, then you won't get help. And but people have brutalized me, criticized me for doing it. And so part of it is you don't want to be diminished by other people.
For promoting yourself.
None of us want to
yourself.
feel pushy or salesy. And, maybe that's something we can dive deeper into. I know we've got a few episodes, but I do want to bring up the point that when we talk about that thing that's easy for you but hard for others, this is the counterintuitive piece. So I just didn't want to leave anybody hanging on that. I always pay attention if speakers and teachers, if they finish their thought, and I have to give this to you because this is game changing. It's life changing. Here's the question. So we asked, what is it that's easy for you and hard for others? And we're all starting to talk about that thing. What I've seen is that people can actually be paid the most for that thing, which comes the easiest to them. And this is the counterintuitive piece that I just didn't want to, not close the loop on. We are out there believing we have to work hard to create abundance for ourselves and our family and to contribute to the world in a big way. But what if it's that thing that actually is the easiest for you? Like in my case, sales comes easy to me. So I get to help all these people with a purpose get out there and make money doing what they love, right? And when by the way, that you've touched this thing when you're helping someone, and if they're paying you, you're thinking, am I really getting paid for this? I remember the day the two of you came here and we got to all three work together on your business. I can't tell you how many times I thought, am I really getting paid for this?
Right.
Because, for me, I was sharing that thing that's so easy. But for you guys, light bulbs were going off.
Right.
So I just wanted to make sure to toss that over. So all of you, think about that. What if you could
So what are some other examples of that?
Yeah.
So sales is one. Mm-hmm. That was easy for you.
You brought up the perfect word. I could not have prompted you better had I sent you notes. You said when you were talking about yourself, Daniel, that people go off and they do these other things, but there's a better way. Those were your exact words. And I pay a lot of attention to specific words, as Tana knows. So here's another clue. And I'm going to actually give you guys a little worksheet and MiniCourse and everything you can download so you can work on this more at home. But another clue is you are Mr. and Mrs. Betterway in this area. So, I remember in one of my early relationships, he used to call me Mrs. Betterway because I'm very efficient. So whatever he would do, I always had a better way.
Right.
And that was one of the ways I was actually getting the clue about my unique value. As Tana said, one of my ways that my unique value expresses itself is that my courses and my programs are super easy to follow.
So easy.
They're super efficient. They don't take a lot of time. They get right to the point. So that was one part of my unique value showing itself. It's just that when we offer our unique value, our Mrs. or Mr. or Mrs. Betterway, without being asked for it, it doesn't go very well.
Right.
But when you make an offer and somebody says, yes, I would like to accept your offer, I would love your help with your better way, then, as is presenced by you two having such a successful business and such a beautiful reputation, people thank you for it. You become well known. You help people all over the world. So I love that you used that term, Daniel, because yes, you are Mr. Betterway in this area. And it is a better way. And you know it. And one of the things about that is it's how you love. It's how you give. It's how you are purposeful, your better way. It's not you trying to butt in or take over, or as you were asking me the question earlier, be dominating or pushy or salesy. It's how you love. That's how it's your unique value.
Yeah, I think, and so what was interesting for me was the idea of your messaging, making it not pushy. And that was different. Yeah. And for me, it was the sort of invisible, if you will, but yet you doing it very kind, very respectful, very, you're embracing the other person. And so I really liked that. But the other thing that I really liked when I went through your process was I've been to a lot of great seminars. I've been to a lot of really great seminars where I get super excited because the information is just so amazing, but I end up leaving overwhelmed at the end because there's so much of it and then I don't know what to do. I'm like, and I do nothing when I leave because there's just so much coming at you. What I really liked is there wasn't so much information coming at me. When I left, I actually used all of it. And so that was what I really liked. It was like, it was just enough and it was simple enough that I could use it, but it was done in a way where it was so respectful of the other person. I didn't feel like it was, I'm going to go bash them over the head with what I'm using.
Let's
Does that make
not
sense?
create head injuries.
Right.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk
Wait,
about
the
that.
gift, what's it called?
I just want to say all the stuff I just went through, because I know we did a lot really fast, like taking that inventory. It's all available in a free mini course that I created for all of you. You can get it at meantformoregift.com, meantformoregift.com. Yeah. It'll ask you all the questions we just talked about, plus give great examples too. And you can do it from anywhere. It's digital. So you just log in, put your name and email, and it'll be right in your inbox for your convenience.
Awesome. We'll be back.
Welcome back. We are still here with Lisa Sasevich, my personal business mentor. But I want to say more than my personal business mentor. It was actually Lisa who helped me find my purpose. Even when I was struggling with being told that I needed to break away and become my own brand and do my own thing, but I didn't want to. I wanted to be at home and I wanted to work with you. And do you remember that? I was really struggling with this dilemma, and she helped me figure out that, well, then don't do what other people say. Do what it is that's in your heart. And I went and saw her and I figured out, no, I want to work with my husband. I want to work at home. I want to be this family person and still have it all. And so you have to tap into what's really important to you in order to make it all work if you want it all. So in this episode 3, we're going to talk about how to get what you've always wanted. And that's what you helped me do, is to figure out what I've always wanted, not what other people were telling me that I always wanted, right? So welcome back, Lisa. So how do they get what they've always wanted?
There's a few keys for this, and we cover them all in our Meant for More book. But let me give like 2 places to start. One is that I remember a little over 10 years ago when I had my 40th birthday, and I had made a big difference for a lot of people. I'd helped a lot of people with my unique value. We've been talking a lot about unique value in the last couple of episodes. And there was this place inside me that was, admittedly, the best way I can describe it is waiting to be discovered. You know, it was kind of like expecting that someone was going to knock on my door and say, Lisa, you've helped so many people, and you helped all these, corporations when you worked in corporate, and you speak well, and that someone was going to knock on the door and say, do you want to write a book, or do you want your own TV show, or do you want to be featured here or there? And I think it was maybe it was my 40th birthday, and in and of itself, those milestone birthdays always have a way of lifting us. But I remember coming to the realization at that time that no one was going to do that. And it was important because it was that day. Oh, I have a prop. Wait. I just happened to have this from something else I did. Okay, here it is. It was that day that I crowned myself. I crowned myself that day. Now, in my case, I was helping a lot of people to make their offer irresistible. And so I crowned myself the queen of sales conversion.
Oh, that's
that was
great.
really what I was helping people do. And the fascinating thing happened once I crowned myself. First of all, I started living into it more. I just, over the next 10 years, I got better and better at my craft. And second of all, people related to me that way, and no one ever questioned it.
Oh, that's so funny.
I mean, no one ever came to my door and said, can I see your statistics? Are you really the queen? How do we know you're the queen? What's your lineage? It was
so
just
funny.
I enjoyed that. So one of the ways to get what you want is to discover your unique value, like we talked about in the last 2 episodes. All the tips we gave, you want to start paying attention to that. And when it starts to surface, to own it, to claim it, to be willing, to be purposeful. You'll live longer, as Daniel and Tana share, and to own it. It's not arrogant. I think that's one of the things that stops us, especially women. We don't want to seem arrogant. We don't want to seem, self-promoting. Daniel and I talked about this a little offline. It's not arrogant to own what you know and to own your unique value. In fact, I believe it's selfish not to. Mm-hmm. How selfish would it be if Daniel did not share his better way with the world? Right? How many people would never be helped if we don't claim it, if we don't own it, if we don't sing it from the rooftops? No one's going to.
So claim your throne, like you did.
Exactly. We call it assume the throne.
Right.
Thank you. So that's one of the ways to get what you want, is to start discovering your unique value. And as you see it, own it, claim it. I am the queen of sales conversion. It's my thing. And because of that, I've been able to help thousands of people get out there, and they help other people with their unique value now.
Well, and I think for you, you are one of our brain warrior generals. You are the leader, and you lead thousands of people into just a completely better way of life. And I think I would add to that, what are the stories of transformation that you have helped lead? And so Tana has great stories. I have great stories. You have great stories. Do you have one that our listeners could hear?
Besides mine?
Absolutely. Absolutely. A client came to mind who, over a course of over 20 years, she had been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Over a 20-year period, she learned, she's not a medical professional, she learned how to live symptom-free from MS. And, she never shared it with other people. She did it for herself. And then when we met, in a format just like this, she heard me speaking. She started thinking about her unique value. She started thinking about what we talked about in our last episode about where people always wanted to pick her brain. This was one of those areas. It did become easy for her when it was hard for others. So she started to explore it. She started to do what we call organize her knowledge. She started to take what she knew and put it into steps. How could I, if I was going to help somebody else do what I did, how could I do that? What would be the steps? She started to do the work on our campus. This is one of the things we help people do. And sure enough, she started to go out to the world, assumed the throne of helping people live disease-free, right? How can they live a symptom-free life? And now, not only has she retired from the work she used to do, but her husband did as well. And they have turned that actually into a thriving business, helping people all over the world to do what she's discovered and live disease-free themselves. That's become her purpose. And as I shared in an earlier episode, we all go to a lot of schools. There's the formal school that we consider, school, the formal training, right? But we have other schools that, she's a great example of, and so are all of us. We have the school of hard knocks, right? Those things that got dealt to us that we weren't planning, like MS, right? We have the schools just, being out in life. We have the spiritual schools that we each go to, right? So all of that comes together, and that is part of being able to get what you want, right? Is claiming your unique value and then, helping others get what they want. It's a loop.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
There's a Chinese saying that if you want to be happy for an hour, take a nap. If you want to be happy for a day, go fishing. If you want to be happy for a year, inherit a fortune. Or if you want to be happy for a lifetime, help someone else. And that's what you do. And so finding your purpose is so important. and then being able to monetize it. Because whenever I do the one-page miracle with people, it's an exercise I talk about a lot. Know what you want in your relationships, your work, your money, your physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Know what you want. Then ask yourself every day, does your behavior get you what you want? And money is so important, but people don't talk about it. And ultimately, it's a brain function, but actually having a strategy to optimize your financial resources, doing what you love, because I've always felt like I had the perfect business, because yes, we have to make money, because if there's no margin, there's no mission. But it's the money's not the point. The point is the purpose.
And if I could really quickly, Lisa, just tell you one of the reasons why it was so special to me when we did our work together. So I had this book coming out, and it became a New York Times bestseller. And yeah, that was really important. But to have a book that does a sprint isn't important. It's the marathon, right? So it wasn't just the book. You really helped me with my messaging when we went on public television. I've never been on television doing that sort of a thing. The messaging was really helpful for me for that. But then it went further. My very first time planning a live set, like a live event, I'd seen you. I'm like, if I'm going to do an event, I want to be able to do it like you did one. Now, of course, that takes time. But for someone planning their first live event, I never realized how hard it is to get butts in seats. Like, it is hard to get people to show up for 3 full days, right? It's not easy to do. And I had no idea some of the strategies that really helped make that successful. And I succeeded. It was really successful. But what was so cool about all of that, when I stop and I look back, I mean, there was so much that went into that, the webinar, the event, the PBS show, all of that. When I stop and look back, we still have those people writing to us about their success stories, how it transformed their lives.
Yes.
The transformation, and I get chills, because their families then get transformed. And that wouldn't have happened if those events aren't. So if you're not successful with your work, it doesn't trickle down. It doesn't, the ripple effect doesn't happen. Yeah. And so it was just such a cool thing. So it's not selfish to
do it. It's actually selfish not to do it.
To live your purpose.
To be controlled by your anxiety. All right. When we
I was going to say, like, we toiled over the tagline for Meant for More. I don't know if there's a little glare, but it says the tagline is the proven formula to turn your knowledge into profits. And, you know, if I could add a line, it would be, and make a difference in the world. Because for me, the profits, the dollars, those to me represent units of transformation, human beings.
I like that.
You know, when you're purpose driven, the money equals you making a difference.
Right.
So, you know, that's really how a book like this ended up with a, you know, real personal development publisher like Hay House, is that they understand that as well.
Yeah.
So you guys can all get started on the path. We have a free gift if you didn't catch it in one of the earlier episodes. You go to meantformoregift.com. And what I'm super passionate about you having is a way to discover your unique value, because that's phase 1. You have to discover your unique value. We have a mini course you can go through to start seeing what was I personally made for, you know, and how can I express that in the world? And then we can get into phase 2, where maybe you want to turn that into profits. Maybe you don't. Either way, it's important that you know your unique value.
Yep.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are here with our friend Lisa Sasevich, who is a best-selling author, Tana's mentor. We're talking about purpose and Meant for More, really how to actualize your purpose in a way that helps the most people. Her book is out April 14th, Meant for More by Hay House. You can take her free online course at meantformoregift.com.
So one of the things, Lisa, before I throw this over to you, because you're just so full of knowledge. I want people to hear that. When I came to you, I could not figure out why. I'm like, I can get up on stage and speak, no problem. And I can do a really good job and I can get a standing ovation, no problem. What I couldn't figure out why I could not get the conversion. I couldn't sell stuff on stage, which made no sense to me. I'm like, why am I not able to sell stuff? And I always felt a little awkward about it. And then when I came to you, you helped me figure out why. It's because I'm not money motivated. Like, I'm a nurse. I'm not money motivated. It doesn't matter to me. Like, the money wasn't converting in my head. Like, when I'm speaking, I'm not driven to make money. But when I figured out that what I'm driven to do is make a difference, it made all the difference in the world. Like, when I connected it to me making a difference in people's lives rather than me making like that money at the end of it, like, so I think people need to know what's important to them. And it's okay if making money is your thing. You just need to know it. And you helped me figure out how to switch that in my head, because that was a block for me. Does that make sense? And that was like so important for me to be successful. So I just wanted to throw that in, because if you don't know that, you'll always stumble. You'll always not be able to figure it out.
Listen, when I created the Meant for More formula, chapter 1, or step 1 in the 5 steps is making peace with sales.
Yeah.
And so it speaks directly to what you are sharing from your heart right now. So many people that want to make a difference go out there to do so. You're a great example, Tana. You have a huge difference that you make for people. And then we go, oh no, I have to sell. Like, I didn't get in this to be a salesperson. I did this to make a difference. Mm-hmm. And so, like you said, when you came at it that I've got to learn to sell from stage, that's not congruent with who you are. Mm-hmm. But when you realize that in order to make the difference I want to make, I need to be able to speak in a way that gives people what they need to be able to say yes, right? And I think one of the biggest transformations that we can have when we are out there wanting to make an offer to help people is to realize that when somebody says yes or no, whether it's a personal invitation or what we call an irresistible offer to work with you, right? It works on either whether you're making money with it or not. When you make an invitation or what we call an irresistible offer, whether somebody says yes or no, it's actually not personal. Mm-hmm. It feels like it is because you're the one making an offer. So it's very easy to feel like they're accepting or rejecting you. And that's why a lot of people never do make their offer. But if you could separate those things, that when you make an offer, you're offering your unique value to the world. You're being purposeful, right? It's part of your plan to make a difference and live longer and be abundant. And on the other side is a person who is inside themselves saying yes or no to their own transformation. They're actually not saying yes or no to you. They're saying yes or no to themselves. When you decided you wanted to work with me, Tana, and become my client, you are saying yes to your mission. You're saying yes that you really, really want to help more people. And
I thought you could help me get there.
It looks like you're saying yes to me, right? We had a transaction, right? There was money exchanged and time scheduled. But really who you said yes to is yourself. Right. And that's the biggest way, one of the biggest mindset shifts that we can use to make peace with sales. The idea of making our offer is that it is purposeful. It is a generous thing to do. Otherwise, you're kind of out there talking about a possibility, rowing people out into the lake of possibility so they can see something new for themselves. If you don't make your invitation, it's kind of like leaving them there with no oars. How do they get started? How do they lose the weight? How do they help their child, get that special plan at school? What's the steps? There's got to be something to sign up for.
So that was actually an answer to my earlier question is why do sales make people anxious? Because it's the fear of rejection, which is a basic biological fear because if you're rejected by the group, so when I decided to do something different than my colleagues, and I initially got all the blowback and the criticism, it was very painful. Because being part of the group from an evolutionary perspective, you live longer. And when the group rejects you, your family rejects you, or your colleagues, your friend group rejects you, you're more vulnerable to get eaten by something else. And so rejection is such an innate fear that people have. They don't want to step into that. But truly successful people, they're able to risk rejection
and what you just
to
said
do something else, but you have to reframe it in your head.
So it's not rejection of
and
you.
Ultimately, for me, it's like I found another group that I love more. And so it's basically you just have to find who your people are, and people who don't take your offer, well, they're at least at the moment not part of your group.
And I love what you said. They're not rejecting you. They're saying no to themselves. That's a huge reframe. That's just huge.
It is. In fact,
it's
I
not personal.
You both came up with the word reframe because the first chapter, the first part of living your meant for more journey literally is called Reframe the Game and Make Peace with Sales. So you're right. It is a huge reframe. And really any transformation that any of us want to have, this is what I've seen from over 30 years of my own personal development, is that all transformation is preceded by a decision. Look at any transformation you've had in your life, even if it was the school of hard knocks. If you had a transformation from it, at some point you made a decision to. So for folks who want to, make a difference and make money doing what they love, there's a decision. And the decision that's being offered right now is you could decide to reframe the game and make peace with sales.
I like that.
And so people can learn more about your work. They can go to meantformoregift.com. They can pick up the book, which will be available April 14th. And if they pre-order it, that would be awesome. Because, one of the things I've just found is that if you have information that's helpful for you, give it to someone you care about, because it's actually in the act of giving that you get to keep it, because you'll have somebody to share the work, someone to share those principles with.
Which is why I'm still friends with the people from my mastermind group, because no one else understands what you're saying. So it's like,
as you grow and you step into your unique value, a few things will happen.
Yeah.
There's going to be the people in your life that don't want you to change.
Right.
And sometimes it's going to be some of the ones that are closest to you, and that can be hard. But you're also going to find out who your champions are.
Right.
The people that really, really believe you were meant for more. And, if you are out there championing someone, feel free to share meantformoregift.com. There are adult, we all have children that are adults now they're somewhat directionless in the world, and them being able to look at an early age and find their unique value.
yes.
What a gift.
Yeah. It's
gift.
great. You are a gift.
This would actually be a great gift for Michael.
Yeah.
It would be, I'm just thinking of people we could, because you just have to send the URL to people, just send meantformoregift.com.
You are
all right,
such
my
a
friend,
gift,
we have
Lisa.
to stop, but what a joy to see you,
look
again
amazing.
and
You
hear
look
your
beautiful.
voice and be part of our Brain Warriors Way community.
I'm so honored to be here today and excited for all of us to keep living our meant for more journeys and staying in touch and letting it all unfold as we make our differences.
Absolutely. If you're enjoying the Brain Warriors Way podcast, please don't forget to subscribe so you'll always know when there's a new episode. And while you're at it, feel free to give us a review or 5-star rating, as that helps others find the podcast.
If you're considering coming to Amen Clinics or trying some of the brain healthy supplements from BrainMD, you can use the code podcast10 to get a 10% discount on a full evaluation at amenclinics.com or a 10% discount on all supplements at brainmdhealth.com. For more information, give us a call at 855 978 1363.